This is Kristiana Coignard. She was killed in the lobby of a police station by 3 police officers going in for help because she had a mental illness. To this day, people are still arguing whether or not her being shot and killed was justified or not. It's ununderstandable how a 17-year-old beautiful girl on January 22nd, 2015 was gunned down by 3 police officers, and something that escalated when an officer could have done something totally different. Her story kind of broke my heart, and I saw the video and it totally broke my heart. I thought it was unjustified, and I was personally outraged. How somebody who went in who was having mental illness went to the police for help and instead was gunned down. What you're about to see is the video of what happened that night in that police lobby, and I want you guys to seriously give me your opinion on what you think. Me personally, and I've watched this video over and over again, to me, I think it's unjustified, especially when it was a 240-pound cop versus a 120-pound 17-year-old girl. This video may be graphic, so I will warn you. Viewer discretion is very much advised. If you're very easily sensitive, you might want to click this video off. Thank you. So this is what happened in Longview, and sadly, yeah, I mean, this is Kristiana walking in. She rang the phone twice, looking for help. She was dealing with mental illness. I don't know what type of mental illness it was, but she originally went to this police station for help. Now, there's been a lot of argument, again, and a lot of controversy, and this happened on January 22nd, 2015. She was 17 years old. And how this escalated is what bothers me, and it's bothered a lot of other people. And I think this is why mental illness needs to be discussed so much, and people need to learn how to deal with it, because this situation should have never, in my eyes, should have never have happened at all. And here you see the officer walking in, and you can see he's a pretty burly guy. I mean, he's way bigger than him. He's got to be at least 250, 260, somewhere in that estimated area. I don't know how tall she was, but, I know this girl is tiny. And here you see he starts wrestling with her. Now, supposedly he handed her a note saying she had a knife. And you can see here he starts struggling with her. And my thing is, like, how the end of this night plays out is where the controversy comes in. And my feeling on this is they murdered her. And I'm going to explain why and how this is so tragic, and why law enforcement needs to learn how to deal with mental illness. This is something that's important and needs to be dealt with, because this is so tragic. Obviously, he used a taser on her. It was confirmed that he did use a taser. Here you see she stopped fighting. Of course, he's way bigger than her. She's 120 pounds, probably estimated. 120 pound 17-year-old versus a 240 to 260 pound police officer. Well trained police officer, by the way. So that's the whole thing. You can see they start struggling again. You know, he tases her again. She goes kind of like limp. Now, instead of kind of grabbing her, putting her on the floor, handcuffing her, and this being the end, it will eventually escalate. You can see he's still kind of fighting with her. Now he gets her up. Now see, here's the thing. Instead of putting her in handcuffs, and he had many a times to put her in handcuffs. I mean, he's legitimately sitting on her now with all his weight. You're telling me he could not handcuff her? Right here. Could not have grabbed her arms, put it behind her back. No, he stands there now and holds her. Here's where I think this is where it should have never gone past this. It should have never escalated. So here comes another officer who is big himself. Now here's the thing. She gets off the floor. Now at any time he could have sat on her and waited for this other officer to have put handcuffs on her. In comes and walks in a third police officer who happens to be a female, and this is where they shoot her. All three of them. Now, everybody, you know, she lunged at them with a knife. Here's my thing is, how did this spiral this far out of control? You explain to me. How did this spiral out of control? And this is so unreal that this actually spiraled out of control. It should have never escalated like this. And there's not any law enforcement, and I'm sorry to tell you this, there's not. I have respect for police officers, but you cannot tell me this was justified. It should have never have escalated like this. This was a 17-year-old mentally ill girl who came to you for help. Okay, she handed you a note saying she had a knife. Okay. That officer outweighed this girl. Was on her back. You're telling me he could not have handcuffed her. It didn't have to get to this point. And here's the thing. Now we're all going to sit down, and I get it, they're upset. They shot her. In comes another like sergeant. She's laying there bleeding. Where, you know what I mean? Nobody is tending to her. Finally, somebody walks over there to check on her. They've done no life-saving whatsoever. None whatsoever. We'll just stand there and look at the 17-year-old girl we just shot laying on the floor. And do absolutely nothing. You're putting your hand, and the one female cop's putting her hands on her head. Me, I would have been questioning, like, how did this escalate this bad? And I love how the fact that, again, they're standing around. Let's not help this girl. Finally, somebody walks over there. I wonder if she's breathing. I mean, come on. Like, this should have never have escalated this bad. At all. I mean, I just, I don't get this at all. Because, like, I mean, to me, I don't think this was justified. And the reason why a lot of people are up in arms and saying this is unjustified, this is murder, is because it should have never have escalated this far. And this is tragic because on this night, this 17-year-old girl who had a cry for help went to people she thought would help her, instead took her life. And this is why this needs to be discussed. This isn't a bash on law enforcement, but come on, I mean, this is just straight up, this ticks me off. I mean, somebody who has battled mental illness, this is just unreal. There's not an excuse on how this can escalate. At all. And the fact that they're standing and sitting here just watching her, nobody, again, where is, you would think, okay, here comes, out walks another person. So now she's laying here bleeding. Nobody's gone over there to try to put anything on her wounds. Nobody's tried to, and it seems like it's taken forever for the paramedics to show up. I mean, this is just, it's sickening. Now, to me, this was tragic, and like I said, and I saw this video back in 2015. I followed the story back when it happened, and it's to me, it was heartbreaking that a 17-year-old girl was gunned down in a police lobby, and it didn't need to escalate like that. And me personally, I think law enforcement needs to be better trained and better equipped on how to deal with mental illness. People want to sweep mental illness underneath the rug or go with these stigmas. And this is not a good thing. This is why so many times we need to discuss this. And I know this video was disturbing, but it's reality and it is truth. And I'm not somebody that candy coat things. That's why I put several warnings up here so y'all know. I didn't put this video out to trigger anybody, but I wanted this tragic story to get out there because, people, need to understand that this is something that, yes, I get she went at them with the knife, and I get that. And they can claim they were defending themselves, but if you look, there were several times where it could have been de-escalated. She could have been put in handcuffs and taken to a mental facility. And some realities, people were thinking that's what she wanted, was to go into a mental facility. I think that's the whole sad part of this. This was a mentally ill 17-year-old girl who needed help. Instead of getting the help she needed, she sadly was killed, and it's just heartbreaking. And this video was heartbreaking to make, because, I think it's something, it took me a while to want to put this video out, because it was hard. I mean, it devastated me, because it was tragic, and and it should never, ever result into this. And again, this is why I'm going to keep hammering this home. We need to talk about mental illness and why mental illness needs to be talked about. And quite honestly, you guys watching this video, I want to know what your guys' ultimate opinion is. Do you think that was justified or unjustified? Was that shooting justified or unjustified? Could there have been other ways they could have handled it? I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. And guys, until next video, I'll see you guys really soon. Stay strong. Stay lucid. Remember, love is louder. Kill them with kindness. And until next video, I love you guys. Mwah!